I was recently asked once again about how I clear out my inbox, how I get it down to zero. So I thought I'd do a video. I'd recorded one on this once before and never did publish it. It was a long video, which meant it would have been a lot of work to edit it just to really make a few simple points. I'll try and be brief about it this time. I really won't be brief, but maybe this time I'll feel more motivated to complete the editing process on it. So I come in every Sunday, and there's two, there's two parts of the email zero inbox process, which is a great title for this, by the way. There's the email zero inbox process, or the inbox zero email process, something like that. I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, I like the idea of going through my emails each day and weeding through the unread, deleting the stuff I know I don't need to keep, the garbage, and then leaving aside what's read. Sometimes starring things if I know I want to follow up on it that day, and otherwise forwarding things to Evernote if I know I want to follow up on it, but not necessarily that day or not as a huge priority. And by not as a huge priority, I mean just not today. It could be tomorrow. So here's what that process looks like. Of course, we're using Google Apps for work, which works it's Gmail, and I go over here and I filter this for just the unread email. This is the process I go through every day, including Sunday, before I start my sort of Sunday process. And from here, it's easy. I'm not going to keep the recording going for all of this, but basically I just select everything here. I've got 50 out of 75 total selected. And then I'm going to go through and I'm just going to unselect the things I want to keep. So I'm sort of reverse engineering this because there's much more that I don't want to keep than ones that I do. So this started to make a lot of sense to me to do it this way. And what I do is I used to scan the sender name here, but instead now I scan the subject because the subject usually tells me a lot more. Sometimes if I go by sender, I may end up deleting an email from somebody I don't know, but an email that I want, such as from a prospect whom I've never heard of before who's inquiring about my services, right? So the subject usually gives it all away, right? So I don't care about Twitter's suggestions based on Simon Barry. Simon Barry seems like a really nice guy. I just met him on Twitter. He invited me to this engagers group on Slack, which I'm now, because of that, realizing I'm understanding better what Slack is all about and what its sort of purpose is. Anyway, but I don't really care about the suggestions. I'll go straight to Twitter to see who I want to follow there. This is from my project manager from Active Collab. It's going to have my list of outstanding tasks that haven't been completed or have been completed and I just haven't marked them completed. And now I'm going to go through and just kind of see when somebody's made a booking with me, I certainly want to keep that. And a lot of this other stuff is just going to be garbage. I always keep my Evernote reminders to see what it was I wanted to remind myself about. And the mentions on Twitter, I'll generally delete because I know I'm going to go into Twitter later and check them out directly. And anything else here, I'm just going to have you watch me do the first page. There's Thomas Power, who's the other one who invited me into that engagers group. Really, really nice guy. Just watched a video of his that I really enjoyed, actually, about the difference between institutional and networking type thinking. What else we got? So far, nothing. The mentions on Facebook, again, I'm going to go into Facebook later and follow up on those directly, so I just delete these. I do like them coming into my inbox because sometimes, depending if I was in a mode where I was sort of engaging in social media, then something like that I would click on right away and click over and see what she said and see what I needed to respond to. But right now, the focus has to be on emails. Otherwise, this process will take 4 hours. No kidding. So let's do that. Keep the Wells Fargo receipt. YouTube sent a message about a video I put up on the T-Sheets channel. So I like to keep those, just kind of glance at them, see what's going on there. PayPal payments being sent. And some of these I definitely want to keep. These are personal. That's it. So now I'm going to hit the delete button. And what's going to happen is those that I decided to keep are going to fall to the top. And since it is Sunday, and therefore I know that I'm going to follow up on all of my emails, what I'm going to do next is different. Other days I might not mark them as read. I might leave them unread because that becomes a signal to me that I need to still follow up on these things. Notice also, and Gmail is buggy about this, sometimes it will automatically clear the queue now that these things have been moved to the trash. But otherwise I have to unselect, refresh, and then go to the top. And so these are the ones that I kept. This one came in while I was doing that. So I'm selecting from here, and I can shift click all the way down to here and say, now mark these as red, because I know I'm going to get back to them in a few minutes as I complete this part of the process. And now again, I select all and repeat the process. Like I said, I'm not going to make you watch me go through it every single time.